ladies and gentlemen of the audience.
Allow myself to introduce myself.
Dave! 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 Ah. You! Now that's just hurtful.
That's the fact, Jack!
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Steel Sanctuary Podcast. I'm your host, David Barrow from SteelSanctuaries.com. I'm here with David Korub and Trent Ging. Bob will be back on Monday. He's got training stuff going on. Guys, how's it going?
Good. How about you?
All right, let's get after it. This Patrick Rooney thing, it's got some legs. I don't know if I'm sure you guys have heard. I don't know if the listeners have gotten it, but he apparently said the Steelers would be insane to sign TJ Watt to a long-term contract. He is the grandson of Art Rooney, not officially involved with the team at all, but still the grandson of Art. What are you guys' reaction to this little bit of information?
Go ahead, Trent.
So my first question would be, because I don't think it was spelled out in the article, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but what is his definition of long-term? Because I might totally agree. If you're talking about a 5-year extension for a guy who's 31 this season, like, it's probably not a good idea for a speed rusher, but like, is TJ Watt worth getting an extension? Like, we talked about this not too long ago. I absolutely think he's worth an extension. I just would limit it to 3 years, and 2 years of it definitely guaranteed. But I don't know, like, in the context, did either of you guys hear the podcast he was talking on when this came out? Because I did not hear or see the clip.
I got a quote from, this is from Steelers Depot. It says, TJ is a great player, a great Steeler. Insane to pay him anything right now. Absolutely insane, end quote. He was at some dog show in Florida, because I read the article just before we jumped on. Insane to pay him anything right now. Basically saying, just let him play out his contract.
If he thinks it's insane to pay TJ, he needs to keep watching fucking dog shows. Because, I'm sorry, you better pay TJ Watt. He's still one of the best defensive players in the world. Like, you need this guy. And if we're going all in this year, why would you not pay this guy? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
My question is this guy just shooting from the hip, or is things trickling down to him? Like, that's my question. Like, because if things are trickling down to him, then maybe the amount of money that TJ Watt's asking for is like insane, maybe, or something. Like, my problem, it's not a problem. My thing that I worry about with TJ is that is he getting to a point where he's more worried about money than winning championships because he realizes with the Steelers he's probably not going to get a championship?
That's a good point.
And now this is becoming more about money. And, well, if you can't pay me, then find somebody that will. Because in the end, I'm not going to get a Super Bowl ring with you anyways. That's what I worry about. Don't forget his brother. He's got another Watt, JJ Watt, that has also voiced his opinion on things on his behalf.
Yeah.
And don't think that maybe he's not in the background going, hey, it's okay to go to other teams. I did. It happens. It is what it is. So these are things that I question as well. So I don't know. I do worry that the grandson of Art Rooney is now like the soundbite for them without it being directly connected to them. That's what I'm starting to wonder.
We talked about it in prep. Is this like a test balloon that the Steelers kind of put out there? Let's give this to Patrick Rooney. He's not really part of the team. Let him say something and see how people react. Is that what? I wouldn't put it past them. Trent brought it up. They do it in politics all the time. They test the waters, see how people feel about it. I mean, maybe they've come to a point where they're thinking about making a decision. They want to see, what the public will do if he's traded. It's gotten to the point where there's too many things now. You brought it up, JJ, and now this Patrick. This has got some legs. This negotiation is not going well. It can't be going well.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to get worried. I was pretty convinced that they'd sign him no matter what, but now I'm starting to worry a little bit.
I mean, the timetable's not off from the last contract negotiation with TJ. So like we're still like honestly, this is still kind of par for the course for the Steelers. Not that I like that. I hate the fact that they let their star players go this long. And I think JJ had a point. Why do we wait until the last year of their contract to redo the contracts? It's not like you can't just tack the years on to the end of the contract they're currently under. Like, why do we wait until the very last year? Because, I mean, quite honestly, we could have had TJ much, much cheaper had we not waited for the Browns to do the Myles Garrett deal. We could have done this last year and had him for a fraction of the price.
The chat's chiming in here, and Adam Vinchik, I think it is, said if we don't pay him and trade him, that'll be a great revenge game. And then Greg Holt makes the point, if they do trade TJ, it'll be a great test for Troy Fuatano whenever he comes back to face TJ. I mean, that's why you trade him to the NFC North and hope you don't have to see him for 3 or 4 years if all goes well.
That's the other issue. How much?
There's a lot of issues with this.
How much compensation are you actually going to get for him?
Well,
because
that's a good segue.
I'm reading things that say that they might not get offered a first because there was other guys. Is it Hendrickson from the Bengals? Different, like the offers they were getting were not even a first rounder. I'm seeing projections that show no first rounders at all for TJ Watt. It'd be a player, a second, or a third. Dude, there ain't no fucking way I am trading TJ Watt unless it's for a first. It better start with a first. Let me put it that way.
What did you think about the pony thing on Twitter? He said McLaurin and a third for TJ.
Anything he says, automatically no. I see it for 3 seconds and I keep scrolling. I don't pay attention to that clown. He's just a clown.
Well, he was just throwing out what he thought a good offer would be, and I me and Trent were talking about it on the prep. I wouldn't do it.
I would for your wide receiver there. Yeah, I know that you would probably want to do that there, Dave. But a second and a third, is it Jameson Williams?
Oh, Jameson Williams. I need a first too. I would need a first too.
That's where I'm at. I know,
especially Detroit.
Third, just give me a 1 plus him, and we're good. Because I get technically another wide receiver 1 receiver really to be my number 2, and I get that first round pick to tack on the one I already have. Now we're talking. That's the way I look at it.
Shower Curtain says, no way we're getting a first for TJ. You can't say that.
I disagree.
Yeah, I disagree too. If I'm the Detroit Lions, I gladly give a number 1 pick for TJ Watt. They're so close. The same Green Bay Packers too. They're really close. I'd give a 1 for TJ in a heartbeat.
In theory, you think so, but they're not going to do a 1 and a player. Not a Williams caliber.
The whole Hendrickson comparison is not a good bar for me when I look at TJ Watt's trade value, because Hendrickson is a complete garbage run defender. Like, he is terrible against the run. He's a pass rush specialist. TJ's more of an all-around player. TJ creates more turnovers. He gets the strip sacks, the interception. Like, he brings way more to the table than I think Hendrickson does. Hendrickson's more of a specialist.
Hendrickson came off a career year, though, didn't he? I mean,
yeah.
Did he lead the league in sacks? I'm trying to remember if it was him.
Yeah, at what, 14?
So to come off leading the league in sacks should have his value pretty high. Minus what you're saying. I don't disagree with that. You're right. I just, if he's not even getting offered a 1, and then TJ technically in a down year, even though he was top 3 to 5 in a lot of categories still, would that hurt? And then he's not happy already. You already know there is friction in these negotiations. Well, I'll put it this way, Trent. People are reporting there is. I don't know if it's true or not, but it sounds like there's issues, or they're just far apart on where they want to go. Now you've got the grandson running his mouth, so like that probably doesn't help. So I don't know. This whole thing is becoming a shit show. So
if you're TJ, what do you think when you hear that? And granted, again, he's not a member of the team, but he's a Rooney. He's a grandson of the owner. And he's hearing that from somewhere. He's not. I don't think he's making that up on his own. That's got to piss TJ off. They got to be far apart.
Yeah, I'm sure that they didn't need that. They didn't need
that's a bad look
to do that for sure.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't think TJ skips mandatory minicamp if it's close. I don't think
So he'll
we'll see what
be a
changes.
hold in either way. He's
Yeah.
not going to take fines at this point. Like
No, he'll do the whole
he'll
thing.
he'll
Like he did
hold
last
in.
time.
Yeah.
But if he holds in again,
I still think he gets done. Like it's negotiations. It's a tough one, and this one's
What percentage you put it at that you're sure it gets done?
Ooh,
If you had to
that's
pick
a
a
good question.
percentage,
70.
70?
What
Yeah,
about
I'd
you,
go.
Dave?
I'm gonna go 55%.
Wow, you're even more pessimistic than me. I was gonna go like 60.
And the only reason why I say that is we traded away Pickens, we traded away Minka. We're doing things that we normally don't do, it seems like.
Yeah.
So, I mean, guys, let's think about this a little bit. Okay. They have Alex Highsmith. I'm not saying anybody's TJ Watt. So before you guys flip out on me, just listen to me, okay? They have Alex Highsmith. They have Hall of Fame Herbig. They drafted Sawyer, who was a projected second to third rounder, and they got him when they got him, right? In their head, they may think that even without him, they're still good enough to win games. I'm not saying win 12 games and go to the Super Bowl, but however, enough to win games, put butts in seats, and still have a good enough high draft pick to use next year in the draft to go get their quarterback. Remember, they're doing this weird thing where they're trying to win, but they're also setting up for next year to be the year they go after their franchise quarterback. So in theory, we're trading Pickens, we're trading Minka. That's why I lower my percentage of this gets done. It's July, and we have August, and then it's go time. So, not feeling good about it. And that's why I think that I had my percentage around 55. I hope Trent's right. 70% or higher, this gets done. However, I don't know, man. If somebody offers them something legit to help them next season.
Would you do it for Dobbs in a first?
Josh Dobbs?
No, Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah.
I'd think long and hard about it.
Wait, for what else? Dobbs and what else?
First.
I'd be close. I'd be pretty tempted.
I'm not going that far.
I'd be tempted.
What about the Vikings? Like somebody like Jordan Addison in the first. Would that do it for you?
It's tough, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You're losing.
Maybe
your defense is significantly worse if you trade
what did
TJ Watt.
What did they just trade away for Minka? Fifth?
Yeah, they pick swap. It's like it's a weird pick swap. They didn't give up anything.
All right.
Really,
How about
anything.
Addison, a first and a fifth?
I don't know if you're getting all that. I don't even think you're getting Addison in the first, to be honest with you. But I'm trying to tempt you guys.
If you were going to trade TJ, you better be really, really confident that Herbig is the next guy. Because Alex,
I'm not.
I think Alex is a good player. I think he is a really good all-around player. But his sack total has not been anywhere near what his pressure rate, win rate, shows on paper and all the advanced analytics stuff. His sacks aren't there. He's not finishing. So I feel like he's still in that same kind of conversation that you got to put Keanu Benton in. Like, they're good players, but they're not finishing plays. Herbig is your best pass rusher outside of TJ Watt. You better have a ton of faith in that kid if you trade TJ at all. And if we have this, we're going all in mindset, like it seems like these moves are setting up for, Herbig's got to be the all in player that you believe in, or else why are you trading TJ Watt this year? I don't know. You better get a haul back for TJ Watt if you're trading him this year. It's got to be something that is just absolutely too good to pass up. And for me, I'm not even sure Jordan Addison plus a first moves the needle enough for me to trade TJ Watt, because I do think he's going to bounce back.
It's tough. I just, you said it yourself that Herbig would be a starter on most teams or something in that realm.
I don't know.
So,
if that's true.
Well, no, I said Trent said that, not you, Dave.
Yeah,
I know that you're very down on him.
I'm not very down on him, but I think he's always going to be a pass rush specialist. He's going to be a third
Trent
down guy.
Feels that way, then maybe a lot of people feel that way. Maybe the Steelers feel that way. that Herbig is good enough to be a starter. And you drafted a guy in Sawyer that should have been a higher pick but fell. You may feel that maybe he could be a guy that you could rotate in there too. And I'm not – look, guys, again, I am not saying they are better than TJ Watt. I'm on drugs if I'm saying that, okay? Literally had me admitted there's something wrong with me. I'm just saying that they may feel that they can get by without him. Now, here's another thing. The record without him says they will not get by without him. They're 1-10 without him, or 1-11 or whatever. But I'm just saying, with these guys and the way they think, I don't know what the hell they're going to do now. They've done some things I didn't see coming, and I don't know what they might do. I don't.
Did they trade for Jalen Ramsey to make the secondary better, knowing they weren't going to have TJ Watt and they weren't going to have enough of a pass rush?
Dude.
And did they draft Sawyer, even though they didn't need an outside linebacker? Because this has been in the works. I don't want to be conspiracy Dave here, but things are starting to fit in a little bit when you go deeper.
I feel like you're the narrator for my movie.
Like, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, why trade for Jalen Ramsey?
This is yes.
Why trade for Jalen Ramsey? You want to get rid of Minka that bad? You have two starting corners. I know he's an upgrade
for 1 year.
Slot. Yeah. I don't know.
Now, Jalen, you have longer than 1 year.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
I mean,
that is true.
And they got better. I think they got better personally. I get it. Like the Minka fan base is going to hate that. But they got better with that trade.
Shower. What you guys living in a fantasy world tonight? What have you been smoking? What exactly about? What are we?
I don't know. I think he's talking about the chat, and they're in a little conversation there. I don't think he's talking about
because I look. I'm not saying they should trade TJ Watt. I'm just saying that there's a chance that they're planning to do it if they can't get him to come to an agreement. And I think they prepared for it. And Dave, you're even laying it out even more for me with the whole, what if they got Ramsey so that secondary would be lockdown corners on top of TJ being gone? Like you might be right and drafted. So like, these are things that, I've wondered too.
It's a lot of circumstantial stuff. It could be all about nothing, but there's so much surrounding this now. There's so much surrounding it. It's making me wonder.
You see Bernard's question here. Bernard said, do y'all think Rodgers is still good?
Good enough. Good enough.
See, people see his stats on some things and they automatically assume that he like sucks now or something. They don't understand that like the first 5-6 games of the season, he was really bad. And he got better as time went on and then still was top 8 to 10 in several different categories.
Again,
so,
the best quarterback we've had in 5 years. I keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it. For us, this is like having Dan Marino compared to what we've been through the last 5 years with Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, and we all know the names.
Yeah.
This is the best quarterback we've had. Yeah. So the answer is he's good enough for us. Anyway, back to TJ. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I just think there's a lot of circumstantial stuff. It makes me very curious. And this Rooney thing, I don't think it was an accident. I don't think things like this happen by accident. I really think that Rooney sent him out there to test the waters. See what people would say.
So you do think that this was orchestrated?
I do. Because they got to have – this has never happened. In the history of the Steelers, no family member has ever popped off like this. They usually lock down. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, this guy starts running his mouth. And not even like, well, I'm not sure. Maybe. I don't know if it's a good – we'd be insane to sign TJ Watt. It's like strong opinion, not just, I don't know.
Yeah, he definitely gave a pretty strong opinion.
Came off the top rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Have you ever heard a Rooney family member talk in the press at all? Ever?
There was that Rooney last year who wrote a book and appeared on a pod. I can't remember his name. It was a Rooney, though.
I think you're right.
He wrote a book about the 70s Steelers or something like that. And he did say some interesting things. I can't remember which Rooney it was, though. I'd have to go back.
I think the comment part of this thing that's interesting to me is that the contract negotiations are usually very, very quiet with the Steelers. That is the part that really kind of throws me on this whole thing, is that all of it, there's usually not a lot of talk out of either side. Even during the hold-in, did you really hear much conversation from like anyone in TJ's camp? Did you really hear anybody in the Steelers camp saying anything? It just kind of was business getting done behind closed doors. And then it's not happening that way this time. That is the interesting piece. And that's why maybe I'm high at 70%, but that's why I'm definitely not anywhere over 70% on him getting signed.
To put a bow on this, if they trade TJ Watt, this defense is significantly worse. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that.
There's nobody else on this team that's putting double-digit sacks up besides him and Heisen. You know what I'm saying?
I just think they think they'd be okay.
Yes. I mean, you might be right. I mean, that is very much possible. That, well, we've got Jalen Ramsey now. The secondary's better. We drafted Sawyer. We can roll, Sawyer on running downs and Herbig on passing downs, and we'll be all right. And they can always go sign another pass rusher.
I'll come up with something. It'll probably be wrong, but that's okay.
Let me tell you something. He's dead wrong. He's dead wrong. You brought up the record of the Steelers without TJ Watt.
Yeah.
It's ugly.
Yeah, it's bad.
Just got here. What am I disagreeing with now?
Welcome to the show, Zach. We're debating the TJ Watt thing and Patrick Rooney and what he said. I don't think it was an accident. I think he might have been prodded to say that. I don't know how you feel about that. You can get back to us on that.
Well, hell, I wonder what Zach percentage they get it done with TJ Watt. They get the extension. What percentage do you give it right now that it gets done?
I think that's Zach's been pretty positive about
Zach
this.
says. Is he? Is he positive?
I think he's been pretty positive it's going to get done. I could be wrong. Who the fuck is Patrick Rooney? Like I said, man, 95%. I told you. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
I was low. I was taking the under.
Well, if you're low, I'm ridiculous, apparently.
All right, let's hit this Darius Slay thing a little bit. I looked up his name. He said something. It's Adam Kaplan. He's supposed to be some NFL insider.
What the fuck?
David thinks Herbig at this point.
I never said that.
Oh, did you say
Hall of Fame Herbig. Here he
Hall
comes.
of Fame Herbig.
That is not my nickname for him. And two, I said they think that they do okay with Herbig. I didn't say he's better than any of them. Jesus.
All right, Steelers Nation had a report. The NFL insider Adam Kaplan said Darius Slay has some bad knees. He apparently had arthroscopic surgery in 23 on one of the knees, and I forget the quote. Did I take a picture? But he said, what did he say? Legit. It's legit. I looked him up too, Zach, to be honest, because I never heard of him either.
Well, I was about to copy Zach and go, who the fuck is Adam?
He's a Philly guy, apparently. I don't know. This is the first time I've ever heard of the knee stuff, to be honest. I didn't even know he had the arthroscopic surgery, if that's even true.
Right.
When you got to roll back to 2023 to prove your point as to why he's got knee issues in 2025, are you kind of defeating your own purpose?
Yeah, I didn't realize he was going off of something that happened 3 fucking years ago. Seriously.
I mean, he missed some games last year too, but who cares?
Yeah.
You've stockpiled corners in this room. The team still has faith in a guy like Corey Trice. Can he get a few games in while, we miss Slay? Probably, but at the same time, any player is just as likely to get hurt as another at this stage. It doesn't matter. Once you push 30 years old, Dave's big issue. It's Dave's big issue with signing in the first place. He's an old corner, but at the same time, was this same conversation going on last year? Because I don't remember anybody talking about Slay's knees that much last year.
Well,
and he was a top 20 corner.
They weren't talking about Slay's knees, but they were very busy putting his replacements together in the draft. I mean, maybe they knew something that the rest of the league doesn't know, because they drafted 2 corners.
Yeah, true.
Good.
And did not renew his contract.
And that was the same draft, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
That's right. Because I was like, damn, Philly just loading up on corners. I was like, all right.
You could say almost panicking. Drafting, I think they were back to back, right?
I mean, when you go back to, I think it was back to back, because that was what got my attention. I was just like, okay.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of team needs there either, and they knew they were replacing both guys.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
both their corners were old at that point, so they were going to move.
plus, I mean, are you really passing at Cooper DeJean as late as he fell? I mean, I don't care who your need was. That guy fell that far with the talent he has. Like, any team was drafting him in that position. You can have 2 starting corners, you're still drafting him just because of his talent level.
Except the Steelers, they don't do that.
No, we don't draft corners. We like to wait until all the corners are off the board and go get Artie Burns in a panic.
Zach cracks me up. He talks about how good Philly's doing, and the next one is God, I hate them. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we all hate them, but they're friggin' good.
Yeah.
So your worry meter on Darius Slay is low. I'm taking it, both of you guys.
I mean, there's always concern at that age, but like, I don't think it's not a story. This is nothing to write about territory right now. There's nothing going on.
Again, kind of like David, you said they did trade for Jalen Ramsey. Is there anything there with that? Yes or no? I think we're just, I don't know. I think it's summertime and people are bored and we're just throwing shit on the wall and see if it sticks. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the context of that interview was or anything. Who knows? Again, that's the risk you take when you sign a 34-year-old corner. That something he could get injured. He's got bad knees. I bet every player over 30 years old has something wrong with them.
If anything, I think it's something minor, probably. That's all.
All right. Speaking about throwing shit against the wall, you want to do our NFL Steelers comparisons and see how this goes? I think it'll be fun. Let's do Le'Veon Bell versus Jerome Bettis first. Who's the best Steeler? All-time best Steeler, in your opinion? I did a poll, by the way, and Jerome Bettis ran away with this.
Well, I mean, look, I'm a stat guy, so and some of these are hard because of just how much a divide in seasons there were between them. So, Trent, if you don't care, I'll just go first. So Bell versus Bettis. Bettis had 13 seasons. The Bell's 8. Bell only had 3 1,000-yard seasons compared to Bettis's 8 in his first 10 seasons in the league. Bell only made it 8 seasons and even had a whole season off to Bettis' 13, and Bettis seemed to be more durable than Le'Veon Bell. Bell did have double the career receiving yards. He had 3,289 receiving yards to Bettis' career 1,449 receiving yards, if you're looking for a positive with Bell. But for me, between the injuries, suspensions, the lack of leadership that he provided as a star player on the team was really bad. So for me, I'm going Bettis all the way.
Trent, what do you think?
I totally agree. I mean, Jerome Bettis, when he retired, was he not top 5 all time in rushing yards?
Think
most
so.
Most of which came with the Steelers. The majority of which came with the Steelers. I mean, he played 2 years with the Rams before that trade. So, I mean, the majority of his time was with the Steelers. So, I think it's hard when you talk about a guy who's top 5 all time at the time of he retired. He's I forget. He's been passed a couple times now, right? So he's probably top 7-ish, top 8.
I have his yardage right here: 13,662 yards.
How can you not argue? Like, he's the better player at that point. Like, Le'Veon Bell was dynamic. He was a lot of fun to watch. Jerome Bettis did it for longer, and he was better for a long period of time. And have we ever seen anything like him since? Derrick Henry's the closest thing we've ever seen, and Henry's still not what Bettis was, in my opinion.
Sexton, where would you put Jordan Donovan?
Way back. Yeah. Guys, I'm taking Le'Veon Bell, man. I know it was for a shorter period of time. I know all the stats Dave rolled out there, but I'm gonna use the same thing I used on Bob. You got to use your eyes, man. When Le'Veon Bell was at his best, he was one of the best. To me, he's one of the best running backs in Steelers history. He was so good. He was a great receiver. He was a great pass blocker. He was a phenomenal. Just go watch the highlights, man. The guy was so good. Not to take anything away from Jerome Bettis. Jerome Bettis was great. He was a one-trick pony. He was a 300-pound bowling ball that ran through the,
Yeah, but could run like a deer. He was so unique. And so was Bell. Bell was unique in his own right, too. But as soon as Le'Veon Bell gained 250 pounds, he sucked ass. Let's be honest. He didn't do jack shit once he left the Steelers. He went on and didn't do shit.
He made a huge mistake. There's no getting around that.
Well, I mean,
skipping the season.
But see,
and then not...
fucking if Bettis leaves and goes to the Steelers and goes on to have a career Hall of Fame career, Bell leaves and sucks ass the rest of his career. How can I don't even know how it's close?
Jerome Bettis was in his third season when he came to the Steelers.
Had, and how his balance was incredible. His speed for his size was incredible. Like he was unique just as much as Le'Veon Bell was. For me, I'd take Bettis over him any day.
Zach takes Bettis too.
Let me ask you guys a serious question, because we're talking about how unique Le'Veon Bell was as a player. Who was faster? Because I think Bettis was faster than Le'Veon Bell was at his size. There's a lot of videos of him breaking long runs and not getting caught.
Once he got it rolling, he was pretty good. Listen, I'm not here to take shots at Jerome Bettis. I love Jerome Bettis too. I just think, man,
his longest was 71 yards on the ground ever, and Bell's longest ever was 81. If that would help.
Bell was let's put it this way. Bell was a more overall dynamic offensive player.
Oh, for sure.
Jerome Bettis was probably a better pure running back.
Yeah.
But even then, I hesitate because fucking Le'Veon Bell was so good.
That's the thing. Like Bell was just such unique because he was such a good receiver as well. He was literally like having a wide receiver too out there sometimes. Like
you could make the argument, and then people did. He was the best offensive weapon in football those 2 years before he held out.
The decline after we let him go is crazy to me.
Yeah, he fucking went to the Jets. That's where people go to die. This is the franchise people go to die. Ask Aaron Rodgers. It's a train wreck. 24. The coach was a freaking retard.
But
the guy from Miami
is really after that and that little stint with the Chiefs, nobody's wanted the guy. Like
he's only. I looked it up. I think he's only like 35 years old right now. 36.
That's what I'm saying. Like he could still be in the longevity of Bettis and the production he gave for a good 10 years. I mean, it's tough for me to choose Bell over him. I mean, Zach's right. It was fun to watch Bell, though. It was when he played.
Yeah.
When he wasn't suspended. When he wasn't injured. I mean,
didn't he have? Doesn't he have the? He has the playoff record for most yards in a playoff game by a Steeler back, right?
He does
against the Chiefs or something. I mean, I don't think it's the runaway that people are saying, because I think people forget because all the shit Le'Veon pulled after he left that people have a sour taste.
Well, for me, it wasn't even after he left; it was everything during, all the way up to when he left.
Yeah, he wasn't as bad as AD, and he just want a new contract.
I disagree because AB didn't go off the railing and say some horrible things until after that season, like until we were done with him.
Did Le'Veon Bell say horrible things about the Steelers?
No, but I'm saying in general, comparing what happened, like issues with the player. We didn't really have as many issues with AB until the end of that last season, in that last game against the Saints, and after when he was gone. With Le'Veon Bell, it started from the very beginning with injuries and then the suspensions, and it was constant. I mean, you guys forget how many times this guy was suspended?
I think it was only once, no?
No, I think it was twice he was suspended.
Like he had one game and then maybe a couple games.
Twice
he
suspended,
busted for weed twice.
Yeah,
injured at least twice. The knee
injuries
and
were
the Liz Frank injury, and then the holdout to top it off. I mean,
the holdout was bad. The holdout was a big, giant mistake.
AB wasn't an issue until after the fact.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was a little bit, and they always paid AB.
But AB showed up to games.
Yeah,
he was there to play.
Yeah.
We'll get to him in a second.
I agree with one thing. It was not a runaway. Like you can't make an argument that it's a runaway that Bettis was better than Le'Veon Bell.
If he plays his career in Pittsburgh,
I think runaway is a strong word.
Yeah,
it's a lot closer. All right, this is a good one. T.J. Watt versus James Harrison. Who's the better outside linebacker? Who wants to go first?
Trent, you can go first this time.
I think you got to get with TJ because his sack record is what it is. I mean, he's got the most sacks in team history. He isn't a guy who's devoid of, being able to play the run. I think that was his stigma early on in his career, but I never really kind of bought into that. Harrison just changed the rules of the game. It's this one's another one that's a lot closer than probably think because TJ has the record, but Harrison changed the game entirely. Like, player safety is directly a result of James Harrison. Like, he literally killed people almost on the football field. So I think TJ, because of the fact that he's piled the stats up, he played, the longevity is there more so than what James Harrison was able to do. So I'm going with TJ.
David?
Yeah, so Harrison had 15 seasons he played in the league. 15 compared to Watt's 8 currently. Harrison has career 84.5 sacks to TJ's 108. With 7 more seasons, Watt still clears him easily. Harrison has 150 career QB hits to Watt's 225. Harrison, 128 career tackles for loss. Watt, 126. He's only ahead of him by 2 with 7 more seasons to play.
Yeah, but
Forced fumbles, Harrison 34, Watt 33. Harrison 811 tackles career to Watt's 462. If you average it out, Watt will pass him in that category if he plays 15 seasons. Most sacks in a season Harrison ever had was 16. Watt has had 22 and a half and has had 19 in a season. It's not even close. It's Watt. Don't get me wrong.
how many Super Bowl
That run Harrison had.
Super Bowl
That
wins
run
does he
Harrison
have?
had. I'm sorry, say again?
How many playoff, game-altering plays has he made
Okay.
in his career?
I don't care.
That'd be 0, Dave.
If you go purely off of player versus player, career stats, what they did for the team, dude, it ain't even close. It's not even close.
It's not.
And not to
close, right?
mention,
Harrison at
that
his peak.
fucker left us and went to the
Yeah,
Patriots.
that's different. We got to put that aside.
And that's another
We got to
thing.
put that aside because that bothers me
It's
too.
so hard for me to get over that he did that to us. Anyways, but it just look, I go into this with no biases, okay? But when I see that
Can't go just stats
don't
alone.
lie.
We can't just go stats. Alone.
Okay, then
At their peak, Dave.
there are guys
at their
that suck
peak.
ass, but they were on a team that won 4 Super Bowls or 6 or whatever, and they're amazing. They're better than anybody. You can't go off Super Bowls only.
No.
There's got to be a
I'm not
complete
going by
body
Super
of work
Bowls.
here. And
Yeah,
dude,
of course.
he had 7 more seasons than TJ Watt has.
Yeah, but those last
And
5 seasons he barely played.
TJ,
Dave. I mean,
that could be
I
anybody
just-
though. You could do really great towards the end. There's players that do good towards the end of their careers.
but
Like in general, TJ clears him in every statistical category there is. Like I just, it's not even close.
interceptions.
Trust me, I thought it would be a little closer since he had 7 extra seasons. It's not.
Dave. Let's just say it this way: at their peaks, James Harrison was far and away a better player on the field.
Far and away,
Far and away.
Dave?
A more impactful player on the field, all over the field, in coverage,
Far and
rushing
away.
the passer, dominating physically. James Harrison, I'm sorry. At their peaks, you're right. TJ's compiled more stats. He's probably a better pass rusher than James Harrison was. But overall player, to me, James Harrison was better. I'm sorry.
TJ Watt is so good, they have to line 3 people up on his side to try to block him.
Yeah.
Literally, they're lining 3 people up, not hiding it. They're literally they're going to use 3 people to try to stop him. That's how much of an impact
James
he
Harrison
has.
single-handedly beat the Ravens one time. Single-handedly.
But so has
Practically beat
TJ
it.
Watt. TJ Watt has single-handedly done it in several games.
Have you
He's
ever seen
had
TJ
forced
Watt back in
fumbles,
coverage? Have you ever seen him knock the
3
ball away from
sacks.
anybody? No.
He does it.
He's a
in every
one-trick
single
pony.
Category. Forced fumbles. Dude, he's done it all in one game. He's done 10 times more in one game than Harrison's done. Harrison's got the interception return all the way for a touchdown. I won't argue that. That was amazing.
Pretty important.
Right? Yeah,
Pretty
very
important.
important. But
And how many
TJ
playoff wins
Watt
does James
has
Harrison
also
have?
intercepted passes and took them all the way. Recovered fumbles, forced fumbles. He does it all, dude. He's done it all several times. It's not even close. Harrison's run though was amazing. That run between
Those 3 or 4 or 5 seasons.
2010.
To
That
me,
was
there's nobody better.
incredible. But dude,
Like I said, you compare him at peak. To me, it's James Harrison all day.
Do we know what James Harrison, the team's record, was without James Harrison on the field? Because we know what TJ Watt's record.
I was going to say, good Lord. I mean,
Well,
hell,
the Steelers
defense.
we can take this a step further.
Who had the bigger impact?
Okay,
No.
and we can take a step further. Let's talk about surrounding players around them. Let's compare that. Compare the defenses around TJ Watt compared to James Harrison. Or better
the defenses
yet,
were better.
let's compare this. How bad did offenses put our defense in bad positions that TJ had to deal with compared to the offense that wouldn't put them in bad positions as much? I'm just saying, how many times did TJ Watt saved this team's fucking ass? Because whoever, dude, it's not even close. It's not even close. There's
you can't say that.
Harrison was incredible in that stretch, but like, I'm sorry,
at their peak, James Harrison was a better player.
I think TJ has won more games for his team directly than James Harrison has.
Yeah, is that a?
It's a direct one-on-one comparison. I mean, there's no team affiliated with that. He's come off the edge, strip sack, fumble in a crucial moment that gave us the ball back to win a game, or put us in field goal position, or an interception for a touchdown, or fumble recovery for a touchdown.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's so many things he does. Like
these are like fourth quarter things. These are not like it's first quarter and we're trying to build momentum. Like these are things he's doing in moments that it's crunch time and the game's on the line. James has had those too. Like, I mean, the Baltimore game, he created 5 turnovers. Like that's unheard of. Like, or 5 sacks, and then whatever, three turnovers. I think it was that game.
It was literally unstoppable for like 4 seasons.
But TJ's been doing it unstoppable for 8. Well, 7. Let's go 7.
I'm just like that's the other thing. We got to remember there was that season where TJ only played 10 games. He didn't even play.
James Harrison missed games too. I mean,
I'm just saying, like, you're talking about 7 more seasons than TJ, and he still surpassed him easily in all these stats. And even in the ones that are close, it's only by 2 or 3. Like, it's not close. I was surprised by Dave when I looked at it.
They put James Harrison in coverage a lot more than they put TJ in coverage. They asked James Harrison to do more, and James Harrison was a much better run defender than TJ.
What?
Are we sure?
Yeah, are you sure about that?
What?
You're saying they put James Harrison in coverage more than they do TJ?
Yeah.
TJ's way faster. Like I don't know where you get that.
TJ's way faster? What difference does that make? They go. There was a
different style because they put TJ more in coverage. They did Harrison. Harrison wasn't.
You're thinking about 3-4 years ago now. It's been going down every year. His coverage.
We'd have to look at that because I don't agree there either. I don't think they had Harrison in coverage a lot.
There's all kinds of highlights of him knocking receivers and tight ends off the ball in coverage.
But they also do it with TJ a lot more too. I don't know. We'd have to look at that. Again, he played 7 more seasons than TJ has.
You keep going back to
7. Because he shouldn't, if he is that much better, Dave, TJ should not clear him that easily in 8 seasons. He should not clear him that easily. He made him look like his bitch in fucking stats. And I didn't expect that. I did not expect that.
Here's another barometer I think you can look at with this comparison. So James Harrison has been eligible for the Hall of Fame. He's not in. Do you think TJ makes it past the first ballot? Because I don't.
Right.
Yeah, because obviously TJ Watt's played longer. He's compiled more stats. And I'm not saying that in a negative way when I say compiled more stats. So obviously TJ is going to – the only reason James Harrison isn't in is because his prime was shorter than it should have been. Like his prime years were only 5 years. TJ's had just 7 or 8 were going on prime years. He's lasted longer. His body's held up better. That doesn't necessarily make him a better player when they're both at their peak. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you want to just tell me.
I mean, I can give you the peak.
Like, if you're going to compare peaks, then you can just go back to their sack records. Harrison had 16 was his highest sack total. TJ Watt 22.5.
Yeah.
Right. Like
both great players. I mean, this whole list is great players. So like we're arguing,
Yeah, I know.
Details, but like
his highest sack total, if we're gonna go with that, is like his peak was 08 to 010. It was 16 sacks, 10, and then 10.5. So that was his, I guess if you want to go off sacks, that's his peak. And then TJ here, let's see. Let me find it. 13, 14, 15, 22 and a half, 5.5 in the year he was hurt. Then it jumped back up to 19 and then 11 and a half. The only time there's only one time, maybe two, that he had less than Harrison in comparisons. He had 7 his rookie year.
How many times did TJ Watt have 100 tackles? That'd be
Looks
0,
like
right?
if I'm looking at right now,
Probably none.
0.
I don't think he's ever passed 85, has he?
So let me check how many Harrison had, because that's a good stat to look at.
And he's at 98 one year.
101, 198. So
Yep,
three
but
he had 90 plus.
He
was a better
Wasn't he-
all-around player. I'm sorry.
wasn't he for the first 2 years playing special teams as well, though?
You think Harrison was
Yeah, but
the
this-
overall all-around better player?
I do. He was
I-
better against the run. TJ is a better pass rusher. I'll give you that.
Harrison was better against the run. Yeah, that's hard to argue.
I can go with that.
Yeah.
He was better against the run.
What's TJ's career interceptions? You have that up?
I can.
Because that's probably close.
Or I thought I would.
James Harrison has 8.
Interceptions. Oh, that's James Harrison. 8. So
Yeah.
TJ's is 7,
It's close.
but with 7 less seasons.
I know. It's 7 less
Like,
seasons. His last 3 seasons, Dave, he played 11, 12 games.
You mean
In 3 seasons. Yeah, he
You
played
mean
6 1 year,
you mean
5
Harrison.
1 year, and then
You're
1.
talking about
Yeah,
Harrison, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So scratch those 3 right off the bat.
So
Scratch
4
3
more seasons.
Dave, that's still
He was-
way more snaps compared to what TJ's. I mean, come on.
I mean, again, I'm looking at
Harrison's first season. You should scrap because it was 02 and he didn't even really play.
2014. He only started 4 games. 2015, he only started 1 game.
Okay,
That's
but
the year
TJ only
that
played
Tomlin
10.
buried him on the bench.
TJ only played in 10 in that one season. So now we're what? So now only 6 seasons for TJ.
I mean, again,
Harrison's still
It's
2
like-
seasons ahead.
I know. Like
That's
it's not
fine.
even
That's
close.
fine.
We're
I'm just
talking
saying.
about a 16-game season. I mean, dude, it's still not close. It's not. Trust me, I was shocked.
you're too
by
hung up
this.
on the sack numbers.
I think you can
Overall.
look. I think you can look at the forced fumble recoveries because TJ is going to smoke Harrison in that category.
That's why TJ's the better
How many-
all-around player.
How many
Forced-
forced fumbles does TJ have?
It was
30.
33 to Harrison's 34.
Yeah, 34.
He's already
it's one.
there. Like he's already there. Like I mean, we can come back to this when TJ's 45 or something and still playing. If we want to get comparisons more,
Still
it'll only hurt
All right.
your cause more. But yeah.
We'll see. All right, let's move on. We've beaten that one to death. Antonio Brown. This one is not close for me. Antonio Brown versus Hines Ward. This one is not close for me.
I feel like Dave and I are going to agree on this one, but I'm not sure with him. I'm just not sure. After this
Go
James
ahead.
Harrison talk, I have no idea. No, Trent, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to start out with this. Arthur Smith's the OC now, so you've got to go with the guy who's the better blocker, right? Hines Ward over AB.
I had this. I knew you were going to go with Ward, but I think Dave's going to go with Brown. So go ahead.
No, I'm just messing around. AB's the best between the two. I mean, Hines Ward is
This is not
Are you going with Ward?
me?
no,
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
no.
No, I'm just saying it's not
ABL.
close.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
one's not close.
Okay.
So if we're all in agreement, let's do somebody else. Lynn Swan. Is AB better than Lynn Swan?
Yes, because I'm not even sure Lynn Swan was the best on that team.
Yeah.
I actually
give you
think John
Yeah, I
Stallworth
do
was
too.
a better receiver
I do
than Lynn
too.
Swan.
You think AB is better than John Stallworth?
Ooh, I have to look at the.
See, I want to get you guys' opinion. I did an article about the best offensive players for the Steelers, and I put AB 1.
Did you?
Yeah.
Best offensive player they've ever had. And I got into an argument with a guy today on Facebook, actually, and he thought I was crazy.
So
I'm like,
I'm on the same page as you guys. So here's what I have. Okay, so Ward played 14 seasons to Brown's 12. They're actually the closest in seasons, actually. But anyways, Brown had a career 12,291 yards towards 12,083. So he had about 200 more yards. Catch percentage, because I'm trying to look at things for like receivers in general. Catch percentage, Ward had a catch percentage of 64.2. Brown's was 66.0. So Brown led the league in yards twice and also receptions twice to Ward's none. So, I mean, besides, like I said, the ugly ending with Brown, strictly just wide receiver. Yeah, Brown. Love Hines Ward.
I love Hines Ward too. Absolutely. But
Antonio Brown had the greatest 8-year stretch of any wide receiver in NFL history.
Yeah, dude.
It's hard to argue him versus anyone, let alone just another Steeler.
Yeah, it's really not close between those two guys. I again, and did Ward end up having more receiving yards than Brown? I think he did, right?
No,
Brown's got the most.
No, I just.
Oh, all
said
right, I'm sorry.
Brown had 12,291 to Ward's 12,083. He had like 200 yards more than him.
Yeah. It's not
and
close.
As I like to point out, 2 less seasons.
It's very important to you. I'm finding out.
Yes.
All right, here's a kind of a fun one. Alex Highsmith versus Lamar Woodley, the two like second banana outside linebackers. I'm gonna go Lamar Woodley.
I think I am too.
I think he's just.
I think
he's the impactful thing.
He's more accomplished than I think Alex is. Alex is going to win over a lot of people in this argument because of like the advanced analytics that Lamar didn't have at that time.
Yeah,
but like if you take all that out of the equation, I think Lamar Woodley was a better player.
May I?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Wait a minute. Did Highsmith play more seasons? Who played more seasons?
Woodley did.
Okay.
So here.
Okay.
Highsmith played 5 seasons currently. Woodley 9 seasons. Highsmith has 35.5 sacks to Woodley's career 58 sacks. So if you average that out, Alex would eventually, in theory, surpass Woodley in 9 seasons. Woodley QB hits 103 to Highsmith's 72. Highsmith's tackles for a loss are at 49 to Woodley's 73. Woodley 319 career tackles to Highsmith's 287. Most sacks in a season, Highsmith had 14.5 to Woodley's 13.5. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Woodley, in his first 5 years, though, had 3 seasons with double-digit sacks, whereas Highsmith only had 1. And here's another thing, too. Highsmith's stats are going down from year 3 to 5, whereas Woodley was peaking through that time frame. So for me, because of that reason, I would go with Woodley because it seems like Highsmith's stats are all going downward, like ever since he got a payday. Like I now all of his stats are going downward, and I don't know if that's due to injury or what it is, but if you look at that time frame of Woodley was really peaking with the Steelers, Highsmith's from year 3 to 5 has gotten technically worse. So I would take Woodley. If he plays, if he stayed on that projection like it looked like he was going to do, you would think, okay, he's going to surpass Woodley in all these stats by his year 9. But he's going downward, not upward. So
the problem with Woodley is he fell off a cliff, right?
Good point, Zach.
At the point.
That's a good point Zach made. He does play across from the best Steelers edge of all time.
Woodley played across from the best Steelers edge of all time.
Mm-hmm. No, you're dead wrong, but it's okay. But yeah, no, I'm taking Woodley.
So we're all in agreement. Woodley, yeah. I think that's pretty good. And we got the last one. This one's a tough one for me. Ben Roethlisberger versus Terry Bradshaw. I got to go Ben. Begrudgingly, I got to go Ben.
It's so hard to compare when they're this far apart. First of all, like I think this is so hard to compare because you're talking about 40 years difference between these guys and the way the era has changed. I mean, you could make an argument that Ben called plays, but Terry called all the plays. He was the OC back then. I mean, he was calling all of the plays. He ran. So not only as a quarterback was he responsible for 4 Super Bowls, but even as the offensive coordinator on the field, he's responsible for those 4 Super Bowls. I mean, he had a lot of value going into that a lot of people probably take out of the equation on this. And also you look at the era of running the ball more so than what we did when Ben was here. We started to air it out, especially once AB was in the picture. It's Ben, but I think there's a lot of recency bias in that too, with the way that the years have changed football. So,
Okay. So I looked really hard into this as far as different things. So Bradshaw played in 14 seasons to Ben's 18 seasons. Bradshaw had a completion percentage of only 51.9%.
Yeah, different league back then.
I'm just saying, to me, that's to Ben's 64.4%. Bradshaw threw for 27,989 yards to Ben with 4 extra seasons, 64,088. That's a difference of 36,099 yards. If you divide that, saying Terry threw for 4,000 yards, he would have to play 9 more seasons to equal that. And I get it, different era. I'm just saying. Ben's QB rating for career was 93.5. Terry's was 70.9. Terry did lead the league in TDs and with 28 in 1978 and 17 in 82. And
Didn't he win
Ben,
the MVP that year?
He
won
might
the
have.
MVP in
I
78.
believe so.
Yeah.
Ben led the league in yards in 14 with 4,952 and in 18 with 5,129. But he also led the league in interceptions with 16, but also in completions and attempts that year as well. What else? Bradshaw also led the league in interceptions his rookie year, 1970, with 24, and Ben in 2006 with 23. I'm going with Ben, and here's why. I think Ben could have played in that era because even though it was really fucking tough and you could like rip the quarterback's head off and it'd be okay, we saw stuff happen to Ben and he played through it. The broken nose by Holy Nagata, or whatever you say his name. Haloti Nagata, there you go. Broke his fucking nose. It's fucking crooked. You could see it, and that dude played through that game. And I think we won that game, if I remember correctly.
we did.
There were several times where he limped out there with a bad ankle, a bad knee, bad back, bad chest, bad, whatever. Like the guy constantly played through pain. And that tells me that he could have played in that era. But could Terry play in this era?
I think Terry would thrive with that arm.
With 250-pound linebackers that can run 4.3, 4.4 now? We're talking about some athletic freaks out there now running around in coverage. He only had a completion percentage of 51 point whatever.
Yeah, but if you look at the average back then, Dave, I think 51% was probably top half of the league.
But what do you want me to do here? I got to nitpick something. I mean,
I'm just saying era was.
What do you want me to?
Percentage was.
What do you want me to nitpick? We can just Terry's the best because he's got 4 Super Bowls.
No, I wouldn't say that.
He had 900 more rushing yards too, just for the record.
Who did?
Oh,
Terry.
That's interesting.
Did he?
That's interesting.
Almost.
900.
Almost.
Was he like a running quarterback? Was he like the first
scrambled for his life
generation of running quarterbacks?
5.1 yards a carry, 32 rushing touchdowns to Ben's 20.
I didn't know that. I didn't even think to look at rushing.
And you think clutch throws in the Super Bowl?
I've never had anybody bring that up ever.
Look at Trent bringing stuff up. I love it.
Calls his own number for an extra 900 rushing yards over Ben.
Where the fuck is this at?
That's it. Ben's. It goes to Terry Bradshaw. That's it. 900 more rushing yards. Look,
Pro Football Reference to the player comps.
I
think Terry would have thrived in this era of football. He had a great arm. He had a really good arm, and he was, like you said, he was mobile. Man. And I do agree with you. Ben could have played back then too. So it's tough. Like Trent said, the eras are so different. I mean, they averaged. What did he average for pass attempts in the first half of his career? Probably 20, less than 20.
Guys, this can't be right. For rushing, it says here Terry for his career had 2,257 yards rushing.
Beast mode. At 5.1 yards a carry.
5.1 yards a carry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just for the record.
900. It's saying here he had 2,257 yards rushing.
He said
he had 900 more than Ben.
900 more than Ben.
Average 5.1. Like you said, Trent.
He has a better yard per carry average than our current starting running back. How does that make you feel?
Better, like 2 yards better than Najee Harris.
I I changed my mind. Terry, all day.
Terry's the guy.
Terry,
You get
all
the
day.
Super Bowls plus the rushing. Give it to
Yeah.
him.
That's my guy.
Oh man.
And he has an AP
You want to know
MVP
something?
under his belt.
You want to know something? Will Howard, next Terry Bradshaw. There we go.
Did
There you
Ben
go.
Ben never won an MVP, right?
Never.
No,
No,
I don't think so.
Terry-
Bradshaw did.
He got
Terry has-
rookie of the year, whatever the hell it's called. Fucking
Yeah, look at you.
Terry has the All-Pro, one All-Pro versus never Ben. He AP MVP and obviously Super Bowl MVPs. He had 2.
And Ben didn't have any Super Bowl MVP.
Ben had no
Ben
Super
did
Bowl
not
MVPs.
play well. He played well against the Cardinals for sure. He didn't play well against the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I
No.
tried, Ben. Sorry, Terry, all the way.
Terry's the
Terry
guy.
Terry, all the way.
Somebody asked me an interesting question I wanted to get to you guys. If we were talking about Jerome Bettis, and the guy asked me if Ben Roethlisberger doesn't make that tackle in the playoff game against the Colts, is Jerome Bettis looked at differently in his career as a Steeler? Is he Mendenhall-ish type player?
Mendenhall is
It wasn't a Super Bowl, but it was a big fumble. That was
Yeah.
a huge fucking fumble.
Yeah.
Does it? I think he handles it better than Mendenhall does. So I don't think
Yeah.
he ends up with the hatred because Mendenhall went fucking off the reservation and just
Yeah,
He went
Yeah.
instead
ballistic.
of just accepting it and just letting it go, he fought everybody at every corner.
Yeah.
And Jerome Bettis
Yep.
wouldn't have done that. But it's an interesting question, right? I mean, the Steelers don't make the Super Bowl that year. He doesn't get one. It's kind of wild to think about.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, then he doesn't get a ring. So, still had a hell of a career, though.
Yeah.
I'm just as far as the narrative goes, and everyone loves Jerome Bettis. Everyone loves him. But if he had caused them,
He still put up Hall of Fame numbers.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So-
That doesn't take that away from him.
Does the ring help a little bit? Yeah. But I mean, like,
But the overall, how we think about him as
Yeah.
a Steeler, because that was a fucking huge fumble. And if the Steelers lose that game,
that was incredibly.
and
bad.
I've watched that thing 100 times. I still don't know how Ben makes that tackle. It's pure luck, I think, that the Colts guy kind of runs back at him because he was pretty much gone.
It's a
crazy.
black eye on his legacy at worst. I mean, like
Yeah.
you have to at least admit that it's a black eye on his legacy. And he's admitted that, like, if Ben doesn't make that tackle, that his legacy with the Steelers could have been different. I mean, he's
Would've been a
like
lot different.
talked about how much like he was so thankful Ben made that tackle because he knew the gravity of that situation. So
Yeah.
And I believe the defensive player that picked that fumble up that fell down when Ben tackled him had a knee injury.
Did he?
I
didn't
read
know that.
something. This was actually not that long ago. There was a couple months back. I saw something where that guy actually had a knee injury going into the game.
interesting.
We got Mendenhall's Ghost Rider here saying Ben's 2 interceptions were more costly than Mendenhall's fumble in the Super Bowl.
I actually agree with that.
Yeah, I don't.
It-
That's the thing. It's not that I disagree. It's just that the timing of Mendenhall's fumble. It was
Yeah.
to win the game, basically. Like
Yeah.
there's not a lot of clock left. We're driving. We're on a roll, and bang. But he always ran with the ball like a loaf of bread was in his arm. Let's be honest here. So, like, you can defend Mendenhall all you want, and it's not that I disagree with you. It's just the timing of the fumble was so costly. That's the thing.
That's
Be interesting to
was
look up
that was
Ben's
a tough one,
postseason
'cause-
numbers.
yeah. I mean, Mendenhall, the guy's helmet hit the ball. That's going to come out 99% of the time, no matter how you're carrying the ball. I think that's the part for me. Like, I understood Mendenhall's fumble sucked. It was costly and it was the worst possible timing. But I do think Ben's interceptions were more harmful in that Super Bowl than Mendenhall's
Right there.
fumble.
What Zach's saying.
Yeah,
His
that's what I
response
talked
and the way
about.
he talks
His-
about
he
it.
wouldn't- He
Yeah.
went on the defensive and just said taking responsibility for it, moving on. If you just said, "Yeah, I fumbled. It's not my bad," it'd be end of story.
He's
End
tried
of
to say
story.
the actual fumble itself was not his fault either. So it's like,
Yeah, he handled it so poorly.
He basically took gasoline, dumped it on like more gasoline, and then threw a grenade right in the middle of the whole goddamn pile.
And to
Right.
this
Like-
day, he's still doing it. To
He
this day,
is.
he's still doing it.
yep,
It's unbelievable.
yep. To this day, he's still.
And he wonders why people are still at him on social media. Well, you won't shut up about it. You just
But
keep,
it's like he tells that story about Ben made him pay for all the meals. Like he tries to make Ben out to be like this horrible human being. It's like, dude, that's like a very loved Steeler. Like, what are you doing? Like, there are people that have issues with Ben, but for the most part, people love Ben. Like,
Yeah.
you keep going, you're going after the wrong guy, man. Like, I leave him alone.
I tried to find a comp for Cam Hayward to do this, and I really couldn't think of anybody. You can't go Joe Green because Joe Green's so clearly better. And then, can you come up with a name?
For who? For
Oh,
what? Like, what you
oh,
think?
I mean,
Hayward to play
only
the game that
former-
we're playing?
Former teammates. I mean, you could have thrown Aaron Smith in there, maybe
Yes.
as the closest, but I mean, you're talking
Okay,
two
then you
former
just can't-
teammates.
What
You
about
just
like,
Edwards.
I don't even know how to put like secondary wide receivers like Randall L versus, I don't know, Randall L versus Santonio Holmes or Nate Washington or, one of those guys.
I thought about doing one of the. Like, I got a soft spot for Santonio Holmes, so I'd probably pick him over most of the guys you bring up because that
Yeah.
Super Bowl, he was just.
Well, and I guess in that year he was wide
Ridiculous.
receiver 1, wasn't he?
Oh, he was that year.
Yeah. Randall L got that big contract after he won the Super Bowl from the Commanders, wasn't it? That 3-year, $39 million or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like, wow,
Very.
why are you paying? Nate Washington got paid big money too. If I remember correctly, the Titans paid him big money.
Let's do this one: Juju versus Randall L.
Whew. Okay.
I have to research a little
Well,
bit. I think top of my head, I'd say Randall L.
Well, look,
Randall L.
Oh, yeah.
Juju had a short.
If Bradshaw can rush for 2,200 yards and that's what tips it in his favor, then I'm going Randall L for that throw to Hines Ward. So-
One play did it for him.
Yeah.
There
Randall
you go.
L.
That's a good
low-key
one.
was a hell of
There's a good one.
passer.
Greg Holt.
Oh,
great
Jesus
one.
Christ.
Great one. Omar Khan's greatest hits right there.
All right, somebody pull up the PFF blocking stats.
His greatest hits.
Van Jefferson versus
Right.
Allen Robinson. Ooh, Lord.
In his prime, Allen Robinson was good.
He was.
Yeah, we're talking Steelers time only. Yeah.
Steelers time?
Throw Mike Williams in there, too.
Sadly enough, it's almost got to be Van Jefferson because he caught more touchdowns. I mean, is
Yeah.
that?
No.
Yeah.
Who blocked better?
That's what I said earlier.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah, for once again, I forgot stuff. Okay.
Pull up the
Oh,
PFF
God.
stats. I need to know who had the higher blocking grade.
Yeah, this is another one we could throw in there, too. Robert Woods.
Oh, Jesus.
The Omar Khan trilogy of horrendous wide receiver
We will
signings.
soon know the legend of Robert Woods. Don't you worry.
Listen, I'm still saying
Don't do
there's
it.
Were you
There's
guys
a
saying you're
coin-
excited about Robert Woods? What was it?
no.
Oh.
I'm saying there is a coin flip chance Robert Woods is not on the opening day roster.
Thank you. I thought you were going to go another direction.
I thought
I've
it
been
was too. I
I've been
was
saying
like-
that. No, I've been saying
I
I
thought you were
think
about to
there's
say
a
there's a coin flip chance he's good this year. I'm like, oh, no.
oh no,
Yeah.
God no.
Got him.
No.
Got him. They got Trent. He's all in.
I'm all in. Uncle Aaron's gonna bring Robert Woods back to glory. He's gonna be the Randall Cobb.
We should have involved more like 90s Steelers in this too. Like Greg Lloyd and Kevin Green versus, one of these
Oh,
guys.
duos. Duos would have been fun.
Duos, maybe next time we'll do duos. That's pretty
That
good.
that would
Yeah,
be a fun
Wood-
one.
You had Green and Lloyd. You had Woodley and Harrison and
Okay.
TJ and Highsmith.
Yeah, we might have to do something like that. That sounds pretty good.
Mhm.
That
I like that
sounds
one.
pretty
Yeah, I like that one. All right, guys. We got anything else before we get out of here?
good. No.
Chat's been great as
Good.
always. Thanks a lot. Guys, don't forget to play Ultra GM. If you haven't done that yet, go in our private league, type in Steelers Sanctuary 25, get $5 off. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I always forget to say that. Until next time, thanks for listening to Steelers Sanctuary Podcast.
That's all the shit I'm gonna get, motherfucker.
Excuse me. Thank you.
What am I supposed to do?
You are embarrassing yourself here, lads.
Saw that coming.
Wrong, sir. Wrong. Okay, I'll play. You got me.